Is Darylene James unprofessional in how she's navigating the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry? Let's talk about it.
Message. Have you slept with Mr. McBride?
Not answering that.
Okay. Were you in an intimate relationship
Not
with him?
answering on my cell phone.
Not on your cell phone. I'm no longer there.
Yeah, okay.
Have you ever slept with Mr. McBride?
Yes, I have.
Okay. So you were not in a relationship.
I was not in a relationship.
What is that? What do you call that?
A hookup?
At the center of everything else, all of us here, at the end of the day, we must answer the question: was the witness fit and proper to appear before us? And fit and proper does not only mean the pains at the back. Was she in a right mental status to appear before us? Because from time to time, she breaks down. This is the second time. She's doing it again now. You see, and it's not something that you can blame it at her. She could be going through something that we are unable to detect. What is this thing?
Good morning, Ms. Trent. Good morning. How are you? I am okay. You okay? You were crying profusely earlier on. Yeah, it's this. Why were you crying? It's this PTSD kind of. I was completely fine, and then it all comes rushing back. And it's very overwhelming and embarrassing as well. It is embarrassing. It is, especially all the things you've done. Sorry, the last couple of years. It is embarrassing. The things you've done is embarrassing. So I want to know why you were crying. Were you crying because you got caught? No. Out? Or were you crying because you regret doing everything that? No, I was crying because of what happened to me. What happened to you?
Hello and welcome to the channel. Let's take a look at the reactions to this story briefly. The Edit Committee in Parliament was wrestling hard and finally got Paul O'Sullivan to conclude his testimony, and it ended up in a handshake. Few answers here and there. Was it enough? We'll take a look at that. At the same time, the former assistant of Paul O'Sullivan came in with a bucket of tears triggered by every question. Was it genuine or was she being evasive of those probing questions? Take a look at this. Of course, Honorable James had none of it. She called her out for her participation in what is seemingly a capture. Take a look at this. What are your thoughts on her response about the form of relationship she had with the former IPID leader, McBride? Or was it just a means to get information out of McBride and IPID to fulfill their agenda to capture IPID? At this moment, not a lot of answers were received from Sara-Jane Trent. Take a look at this. Please give this video a thumbs up in support of this channel, and I'll be back with the rest of the commentary.
There was discussions here just prior when we were on our break that you were having a response to your trauma. Mike, I normally talk so loud. What is making it traumatic for you to be here in Parliament in front of the entire nation to tell us about the alleged abduction and torture within SAPS? Do you feel like you are trapped here in Parliament?
I do not. And I wish that I was not crying. It is mortifying, and I would love to be composed and answer your questions. This whole Baklani whole thing, I thought I'd left it, moved on. It was extremely traumatizing, this whole thing and surrounding factors. And I was not expecting to respond this way.
Are you fit and proper for you to be able to go through this submission which you gave us?
Do you mean fit and proper sort of psychologically?
In whatever way, for you to be Because if you keep on breaking, it's going to be very, 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 very difficult. Because you have not started asking you anything.
Yeah, I thought I was.
Thank you so much. Good morning, Mr. Trent. Good morning. How are you? I am okay. You okay? You were crying profusely earlier on. Yeah, it's this. Why were you crying? It's this PTSD kind of. I was completely fine, and then it all comes rushing back. And it's very overwhelming and embarrassing as well. It is embarrassing. It is, especially all the things you've done. Sorry, over the last couple of years, it is embarrassing. The things you've done is embarrassing. So I want to know why you were crying. Were you crying because you got caught? No. Out? Or were you crying because you regret doing everything that? No, I was crying because of what happened to me. What happened to you? I was abducted. My phone was stolen. You weren't abducted. Your phone wasn't stolen. Your phone was booked into the SAP 13 book at the police station. What makes you think your phone was stolen? It wasn't stolen. I'm telling you, it wasn't stolen. It was booked into an SAP 13 book at the police station. It was put into a forensic bag in front of you. Have you signed the warrant of custody? Yes, I do. Then so why did you come before and saying what happened to you like you're the victim?
The only reason why y'all are saying Darylene James' line of questioning is rude because she's talking to a white woman. Because a lot of y'all black people, especially a lot of y'all black people that work in retail, you guys will bend over backwards, contort yourselves into a pretzel to appease a white person. When a black person just says hello to you, you'll ignore them or give them a stink face like. Am I lying? And I could also get into the conversation about how y'all fetishize colored women's anger. When colored women are angry in a context that doesn't sexually arouse you, like in this context of corruption, then she's being the angry colored lady. Just like you do to black women, they being the angry black woman. Okay.
The level of disrespect for Darylene James is getting out of hand. Number one, you've never seen a person be so fearless. You've never seen a woman confront criminals face to face. Out of all the politicians in the ad hoc committee, the one that never had softball questions is Darylene James. And I'm telling you, out of every party in that ad hoc committee, out of all the people that sat there with the evidence, Darylene James not one time changed her position. She was never soft. Never soft. This country is waking up to politicians that are not scared to face corruption. And this is what's happening with this woman. She's a colored woman. She's standing up for herself. She's standing up for what is right. And you cannot handle it. And this is not about race. But because this guy was talking about she's from the Cape Flats, she has no standards, she doesn't know how to speak. Imagine.
Sara-Jane, umsizi walela khehla leli elingezwe uPolo 7. Uyena ukuthula ubufakazi. uSara-Jane ke ubesebenza enkampanini kaPolo 7 labayibiza ngokuthiwa ama forensic investigators. Kodwa abanawo icucu zalo msebenzi. Bebesebenza namaphoyisa nalo lonke uhlobo lamaphoyisa. Uyena lo utholakala ezintweni eziningi. Ekhathi kuna leya project abayibiza ngokuthiwa iproject kaPhahlana. Uyabalwa lapho. Sara-Jane ke ubufakazi bakhe bunzima. Uveza isayiti lobulungu bakhe. Uyile nhlobo yabelungu le ethi mibona umuntu omnyama besiyahleka, ihamba ihleka lolu hleke ungaliqondi lumi kanjani. Kodwa olenzelwe ukuphela umuntu omnyama. Amanahleke nesikhaleni umlungu angazi ukuthi bachazwa yini kuleyo nto. Naye usabambelele kuleyo nto kusho ukuthi babechazeka abantu abamnyama abadala.
akusenjalo manje. uSara-Jane ke utheme ethula ubufakazi bakhe waba nenkinga, angimazi usekhale kangaki la, wavukwa ama-fits nayo yonke into, inhloso into nje kwala nje umbuzo nje makwaqhamuka umbuzo uyaphihlika aphahlazeka uSara-Jane. Akaziboni yena engabuzwa ilaba abantu abamnyama bamxine ngemibuzo, yena ungaphezulu kwabo ngenxa yesikhumba sakhe nje. Akaziboni njalo ukuthi bayi-members eParliament akusho lutho kuyena lokho. Empeleni alikho iParliament ngoba iParliament lakhiwa umuntu omnyama. Imibuzo nje okwewamxaka kwaze kwamiwa yilobu umbuzo nje ukuthi nina njengaleya inkampani yenu nino khehla lakho leli yini enihlanganisa ne-IPD le ekuyiyona ebhekelela ukusebenza kwamaphoyisa. Uthi yena-ke bayayisiza nje i-IPD ebahlanganisa nayo. Uma ufunda umthetho uthi ya kulungile ukuthi ungayisiza, pho nina niyisiza ndlelani? Hayi kuyavela ukuthi bona abasizi nje kuphela, bangena baze bagamanxa basebenze nayo i-IPD, okungaveli indawo kumthetho okungaveli ukuthi bangobani. Indaba phela ukuthi bagasela emzini kaHomozi uPhahlana, kwakuyibona futhi ababehamba phambili, i-IPD yayizwa ngabo.
Yeah, very interesting predicament for Sara-Jane Trent. Please do follow them on various social media platforms. There you have it. And of course, on various news platforms to get the latest updates, especially on her case. And of course, the recent activities coming out of ad hoc committee. Please note that we did cut some of these videos shorter so that we can have various perspectives and thoughts on the ground about this matter, so that we can continue the conversation right here, having heard the different perspectives. Now, when it comes to how the ad hoc committee does its business, obviously a lot of people also consider that rather politics has influence in how they would react to different people who come to the committee, while others are saying at the end of the day, every allegation needs to be probed. And unfortunately for Sara-Jane Trent, even though she felt very vulnerable at some points in her testimony, she still needed to answer to some questions that had her involvement in it. And having heard what others think about how MP James conducted herself, considering that Sara-Jane Trent was already breaking down. Now, one thing I had to just point out, let me know what you think down below, is that Sara-Jane Trent was already breaking down way before the opportunity for Miss James, right? So it cannot be her that broke her down, that takes that out of the box. And then obviously Miss Jane, she was able to respond to some questions, and to some questions she acted completely disoriented, unable to comprehend English, and then in some instances she'd come back and be able to respond. It was really a roller coaster for the MPs, and commend them for being so patient with her and the process. And then come in, the Terminator, MP Darlene James. Oh, she just told her to stop the facade. We know what this is. You are embarrassed that you have to answer to some of the things that you thought you'd never have to answer to. That is what she put to her, and she responded that no, that is not the case. What are your thoughts on how this is going? Of course, a lot of people then on social media went on to question the approach that MP James took, not just today, but even in other witnesses, where she is rather firm and she's then categorized with some sort of stereotypes. Is that fair for her, or is she not allowed to express herself like any other member? We are not a photocopy of each other. Everybody has their own personality, and why can she not express herself in her own personal capacity, especially if it is not illegal? What are your thoughts on how James is getting all the backlash? And you have heard in the videos that a lot of people are saying no. Some people are just shocked that a colored woman can be so firm to a white woman who is seemingly vulnerable. Thank you so much for joining us on this one. In terms of have they gotten enough from Sara-Jane Trent, let's meet on the next one. Bye.